So I was just watching some YouTube, eating dinner, all that stuff. And this video comes on my recommended. From Flats, what does Rivals need to succeed in 2026? Now, most of this, he just recaps the game, talks about some of the problems, not all of them, but a good amount. Toxicity, all of that. I don't agree with Flats on a lot of things. Some things I, agree with him a lot on. And he starts talking about something which I have been preaching for weeks now. And I even made a video about it right here 4 days ago, where I explain this exact thing, which I will show right here. I'm gonna let him talk.
I think Rivals needs to take one on the chin for a season. And what I mean for that is, unfortunately, especially casual players, absolutely shit their pants at the idea of nerfing something. I know. But there needs to be a power reduction season where they legitimately nerf almost every character in the game.
Like, that's almost my exact same sentiment I had in this video. I'll try to find it right now. So right here, 526, I do kind of explain different pathways because it's how to fix mobile rivals, not directly nerf everyone. But 526, here's what I say. Stop buffing him. The game would be a lot more healthy if every role got nerfs across the board, except for a certain few who definitely don't need it. Like, you don't need an Adam nerf. He's already not good in double support. You don't need to break his legs even more. Like, you don't need a nerf thing anymore too. Keep him as is. And until Marvel Rivals does this, and does this a complete patch of pure nerfs, about, let's say 90% of the characters, you will not have a fun experience in this game because there's so many meta characters, so many strong characters, so many high output damage characters, so many high output healing characters that you won't have a fun time. That's why you're getting triple support, because they keep buffing already strong characters. And that's my main point right there. And you have to have, toxic comments. Another L take once again. No surprises coming from a support player. I wonder what this guy will say once Flat says the exact same thing. Because, these type of people only agree with big content creators. Then this person defends me. I don't know, I think he's pretty much right. Seems like they're overpowering characters in a desperate attempt to keep some kind of player base strong, even if it's toxic. So I've been resonating this exact same sentiment. So let's see what he says and how it will shape other people's opinions.
Significantly.
I guess the only disagreement, he wants a lot of people to get nerfed significantly, like he said. I think they should nerf strong characters by a little and buff weaker characters by a little. That way, you don't overcorrect. That way, because let's say you do this. You buff 5 characters a lot and nerf 5 characters by a lot. That could heavily impact the whole meta. And let's say it's a Loki, Moon Knight, Bucky situation, where you nerf Loki heavily, 20% nerf to his damage and healing, while Moon Knight and Bucky get several buffs. I think Moon Knight has gotten 12 over the course of Marvel Rivals history, and Bucky's always been S tier. Now, the whole balance is thrown off. Well, Moon Knight before was around the C tier, B tier. Now, he was very high tier during the past couple seasons. Maybe not now, but especially the past couple seasons. And if you were choosing Loki, you were throwing. And now I think Loki's in a good place. He's only as good as he is now because the other supports how they're so strong, like Gambit ult. So he will maybe explain more of it. I haven't watched too much of the video. I just saw maybe 10 more seconds after this. And so that's my take on it. You can't heavily nerf a lot of characters solely because you don't know how much the meta will change based on other characters' nerfs. Like, you could indirectly buff a bunch of characters because you nerfed other characters by a lot. Maybe it'll be more interactive because, more change, more adaptability, more all of that, more skill curve. But if you actually want a balanced game, you can't overcorrect. And, he probably doesn't want overcorrecting, but you're going to have that if you're going to overly nerf someone. I'll let him speak.
And I'm gonna go through the list.
I want to see if we agree on this. I haven't watched the rest of this yet. Cap, I think, is in a good place right now. Strange, I think, is in a good place. Maybe a slight nerf to his ult. Hulk, I think you shouldn't buff him. I think you should nerf a lot of DPS so the damage is a lot down, because that's his main counter. Once he jumps in, other than the CCs, just all the damage coming in, and all the increased damage, anti-heal, all of that. And plus, me and his whole idea is all nerfs. So I think Hulk should be the same. Groot, I think he should be the same. I think he's in a good place right now. He has counters like Punisher, who are very good. Venom, I think he's the same thing as Hulk, but he's just way better than Hulk in my opinion. If anything, a very slight nerf to his anti-heal on his ult, because even so, he can still one-shot people by the slam, Tendrils ult, Tendril snap, get a kill. The anti-heal I think is a bit overboard, maybe nerf it by half. Magneto, I mean, I think Magneto needs his bubbles to be reverted to what they used to be. He can either choose to bubble himself or others, then it goes on, I think, a 12-second cooldown. That's the way it should be. It was either, okay, do I save myself or my other teammate? Now it's, okay, I don't need to think about that, I can just do it. And so one of his cooldowns aren't really used a lot, his self bubble, unless he's taking a lot of damage, which you won't need that when damage gets nerfed. Thor, I think you should revert his dash. His dash before, it was, you had to actually plan for it. Now you can just do it and kind of swerve in a U shape and get someone on the opposite team. I don't think that should be good. I don't think that should be added to the game. I think that should be reverted. Penny, in all honesty, get rid of the Rocket team up and then I think she'll be pretty good. Thing, I don't think he should get nerfed. Rogue, I think she's in a good spot. I think she shouldn't get nerfed. Angela, she does need to get nerfed, but if I'm being fully honest, I'm not 100% sure what to. Emma, I think she's actually in a pretty good spot right now. She's not overly OP. So let's recap. Stay the same, nerf, stay the same, stay the same, nerf, 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 stay the same, nerf, stay the same. Let's see what he says.
On the fence. Nerf, nerf, nerf. I feel bad because he just got good. Nerf, nerf. He's fine. Would probably end up needing nerfs. Nerfed, nerf, nerf, nerf.
Okay, so he didn't go, let me go back. He didn't go over these three. Now, Punisher, nerf, Storm, get rid of the Jeff Nato team up. Hawkeye, definitely nerf. Hela, definitely nerf. BP, keep the same.
Nerf, nerf. Actually, he's probably in a good spot.
Hey, guys. I didn't expect that. BP's in a good spot, guys. I heard from so many dive people, he's absolutely horrible. I've had BPs on my team and High Grandmaster that, I mean, they run the lobby. Magic, nerf. Moon Knight, nerf. Squirrel Girl, nerf.
Might even need might need a small nerf.
Widow, keep the same.
Needs a rework.
I agree with that.
Hot take, might need a nerf. Nerf.
Iron Man, keep the same. Spider-Man, keep the same. Wanda, honestly, her ult has been pretty annoying this season. I know she's not that very good, but with her auto lock being so high and her ult being, I think, infinite damage and infinite kills unless something happens, I think you should reduce how big her ult gets charged. So nerf for Wanda.
Probably fine for now, but potentially needs one. Might potentially need one. Might potentially need one. Without the team up, with the team up, nerf. Without the team up, eh.
I don't see his saying right here, and I forgot who's there. Bucky, nerf. Star-Lord, nerf.
Nerf.
And, let's
Nerf.
see there. Namor, oh yeah, definitely nerf. Take out his team up, I think he's fine. Psylocke, nerf. I think that's Iron Fist, nerf.
Nerf. Nerf.
Oh no, that's Wolverine. I mean, I think Wolverine's good right now. Maybe nerf his jump by a few seconds, and I think he's good.
Still early to tell, but probably will end up needing one. Might end up needing one.
Okay, Iron Fist, yeah, nerf. Fantastic, I would say a very slight nerf. Torch, I feel like he's fine. Phoenix, nerf. Blade, nerf.
Nerf. Nerf.
Okay, then Daredevil, nerf. Loki, I think he's actually a good spot. He's only as good because of Gambit Invis. Mantis, I think she's good. Cloak and Dagger, good. Rocket, nerf. Atom, keep the same. Ultron, keep the same. Luna, I mean, if all the damages are getting nerfed, I think she does need a nerf with her like self-heal and damage boost, so I think a slight nerf. Jeff, I think he's very situational. His healing ult is definitely worse in a lot of games. You know, you can get a 6k, 5k, 4k with his ult, but it's not happening every game. It's not as consistent as other support ults. So I think if you can be a very good Jeff and pull it off, you know, that's your own skill level. I don't think he should get nerfed. Invis nerf, Gambit nerf.
Nerf. Nerf.
Mantis, really? Okay.
Fine. Nerf. Probably fine. Nerf. 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 I'm be honest, L takes. Why is it L takes, Mr. Sun Kill Moon? I'm not even gonna wait for your response, because you know.
That reminds me of one of my comments I made into a video where a person was pretty much telling me L take and their name was burner account.
You know what? This is part of my conversation earlier of not everyone can have the nuanced, critical conversation right now. I genuinely believe it. We literally can't. And you know why I'm saying nerf them all? Because the power creep has gotten insane. So you strike everyone down together. So then when you do everyone together, instead of crushing certain heroes down, you crush the whole ceiling down. When you crush the whole ceiling back down, then you can start to bring them back up.
And it would also make match fights longer, because there's way less damage pumping into the fight. Now, of course, some supports healing will get nerfed, but team fights will last longer because there's not, let's say, Hela 2-shotting everyone. Hawkeye 1-shotting everyone. I think Hawkeye needs a rework. He's just very bad for the game, I would say. Nobody likes walking into a fight, getting headshot, walking 15 seconds, getting headshot again. Nobody likes that. If anything, I think he should be like Widow in a way, where if you have a damage boost, you can. But, you know, just coming off the spot. And I think it would be very healthy for the game for longer fights to happen. Not only would it be more tense, and you'd need to work under pressure more, but there wouldn't be any really meta characters, if I'm being fully honest, if you nerf a lot of the good characters and keep the same the weaker ones. Because then, ideally, nearly everyone's around the same power level, it's just different play styles.
Right now, the power creep from where the game started to where it is insane.
Yeah, and one of the points I make in my video right here is that newer characters being added to the game, like Gambit, like Emma, Rogue to an extent, and even Torch maybe half a season after it got added, they were all severely overpowered. Oh yeah, Daredevil too. I mean, all these newer characters, Torch is a bit an older new character, but especially the newer characters with Daredevil, Emma, Gambit, with all of these new characters being severely overpowered, I mean, of course, it's gonna throw off the whole balance. And with them, they did nerf Emma a lot, which I do like, but they gave Daredevil a slap on the wrist, his HP by 25, I think, even though that was not his main problem at all. They nerfed Gambit's ult by 200, but I don't think they should nerf how fast he gets it. I think they should nerf the ult damage, and instead do some kind of shield. Get rid of the damage, maybe split the speed boost, add some shield. Or even keep the damage, and maybe get some shield on top of that. Cut the damage in half, cut the speed in half. Something like that would actually make it viable and not super overpowered and team wipey even through another support ult. I kind of like Rockets where, yes, it gives you shield and a 40% damage increase, but it can be easily broken, especially with high damage DPS, especially with a Phoenix ult. Well, yes, it is pretty powerful and can kill through another support ult, especially teamed up with the Punisher ult. It can be heavily destroyed. So that risk versus reward, kind of like Jeff in a way. But with Gambit, it's just like, okay, there's one nuance to it. You actually need to face and have people, your teammates, in front of you to actually activate them inside of your ult. But outside of that, it's just like, okay, the ult can go anywhere now and explodes at the end. I mean, with Luna, it's like, okay, small radius, you can either heal or damage boost by a certain amount. Cloak and Dagger, it's okay, less healing, but bigger area. Rocket, okay, high damage boost and shields, okay, and get destroyed. Loki, you can miss your copy, or the extra second you need to copy, your character gets killed. And if you miss a copy, it can heavily alter a game. And so a lot of these ults have risk and reward. But with Gambit, I mean, other than less healing compared to other support ults, I mean, it's really not really a support ult. It's more like a damage ult, if I'm being fully honest. I mean, doing the ult and then doing the cards where it zips between people, like kind of like the Atom heal. I mean, kind of like a support ult, but it's more of like a damage ult. If a damage ult and a healing ult had a kid, that's what it would be.
You got to bring everyone down, and they probably need to do one half season where they just bite the bullet, get flamed on Reddit, get flamed on Twitter, get flamed on whatever by everyone out there, to just have the health of the game be the priority long term. Because granted, they're going to keep buffing characters because it's a superhero game and they like to buff things and people like buffs. They don't like nerfs. But we've hit the point where we're hitting critical mass. We need one sweeping season just to nuke everyone down. All right, you know what? For that guy, I'll give you an alternative. Okay, fine. You don't want the correct answer? I'll give you an alternative. Buff every DPS character in the game. Buff.
Oh no, you do not want that. We already have enough anti-heal and damage in the game. If you buff every DPS character, there's gonna be way more pinging for heals, GG no heals, because there's gonna be so much damage that you can't win. Because as support, let's say Loki, his reload is around 3 seconds. That window, I mean, you're gonna have a bunch of damage just coming in that window, which is gonna team wipe your entire team. Rocket's heals, while they are sustaining, you can't rely on them, especially through burst. So what are you gonna do? Rocket's gonna be invalid. Same with Cloak and Dagger in a lot of situations. Luna too. Her main fault is that her heals aren't splash damage, and you actually need to aim with them. Atom's gonna get phased out. Mantis would, I mean, she would rather fit on a DPS because her healing is going to be null and void. The only ones I see sticking around in that meta of high DPS is if Invis and Gambit get buffed. Or even if they get nerfed, they're probably going to be the only ones viable to actually play because of how high their damage can be. Especially if Moon Knight gets buffed again or Bucky gets buffed again, Loki's gameplay will be null and void. By buffing damage, you're going to shut down over 90% of the support cast, maybe leave 1 or 2 more that are actually viable. And even then, they're going to get banned. Like Invis Gambit, they're going to get banned every game with that high DPS because no one else can deal with it. Other than those two, the only ones I can see dealing with it are Loki in highly specific situations, Luna maybe, Jeff with just a sustain, but with Hela, I mean, Hela Hawkeye versus a Jeff, I mean, that would be absolute horrible. So overall, if you buff a lot of DPS, the game would be nearly unplayable, and there would be a lot of deaths every single game because no one can sustain.
Off damage, insanely high. Actually, better yet, buff all the tanks' damage and all the DPS's damage. Buff.
Okay, I think he's just rage baiting the commenter now, which I agree with someone who's just being so toxic. Like, I overplay my emotions during toxic commenters because, you know, a lot of people, they get clicks if they see emotion. Like, if I go to my channel, you'll see a video called "My Team Praises My Loki." It has like 13 views. My rant videos where I'm highly emotional, 100, 200, 300. So I get this. He's just rage baiting him.
All of them. Buff Hulk's dip. Let's do the opposite. Buff, 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 buff. Might be a small one, probably fine. Buff. On the left, click buff, buff.
Yeah, you gotta buff her webs to be every half second.
Buff, buff, buff. Buff, 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 buff. Super buff.
Yeah, Hawkeye needs the 17th buff because he's really bad right now. He's like being played at like 1% of the games. He really needs those buffs. Hawkeye, Hela too, you know, she's received 12 buffs, I think. I think she needs at least like 3 or 4 more. Because, you know, Gambit and Invis, since they have abilities that can make their life sustain for a couple more seconds, Hela definitely needs like auto lock. So no matter what, the cursor's always on the opponent's strategist's head. And I think she'll actually be pretty balanced then.
Might need a small buff. Needs a rework still. Buff. Fine. Actually, no, he might need a small buff. Omega buff. 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 Low key would probably be fine without it. Buff. Probably be fine without it, but maybe even buff. Buff outside of ult. Buff. Buff.
No, I think Selex's ult even needs a buff. I think it needs a one-shot all squishies 275 and below.
Buff. I might not need it. Buff. There you go. There's the option. There's the opposite option. There you go. You don't want to go the nerf route? Fine. We got to go the opposite route then. There's the opposite. You don't want to go the nerf route? You have to go the buff route. And all the tanks as well. Pick one. Pick one. You can't say either. You can't say no. You can't say no to both. Those are your options. Because power creep has gotten insane. You have to make it so that the other roles have so much impact that you need to play them. Right? Like, you guys know the reason why triple support exists is because triple support does enough damage and enough sustain to work in those comps and out damage and out heal. Sorry, not out damage, but out heal incoming damage and do enough damage back that they can still be impactful, right? You guys know that. That's literally just how the numbers work. So, the only way that ends up working long term is one of those two options. You either have to make all the damage and all the tanks do enough damage that it's not smart to run triple support, or you bring the whole roof down. And I think bringing the roof down is much healthier long term than going up.
Okay, and I'll stop his video there, I mean. And that's pretty much my whole idea right there. What I said in the original video. You need to nerf about 90% of the whole character list and Marvel Rivals. And for the ones that need buffs, maybe slight buffs, but probably not. Just keep them as is and see where the meta goes. Because if you continue with all these buffs, you're going to have a horrible time. Because let's say damage and healing are cranked to 1,000. The game now is, okay, who misses a shot first? But right now, if you nerf everything, it's like, okay, each side can miss 5 times and they'll be okay. Damage is severely buffed, healing severely buffed. If the healers miss 1 shot, another character on their team is dead. You do not want that, because it's like, okay, I get 1 or 2 tapped, so much incoming damage, I can't do anything about it. But if you nerf a bunch of the damage and a bunch of the healing, you're gonna have a lot more sustainy battles. And there won't be a lot more GG no heals, there won't be a lot more complaining. And let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, whether you're person like this, or just a complete stupid person like this. Now, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe, it would mean a lot. And I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.